So I am back with the first part of my second unhaul of the year. I actually just filmed one of my tried chapter videos, and it's so funny because I said I was going to keep one of these books, and then I went and read reviews because I was reading reviews of other books deciding if I was going to keep them or not, and I decided I was not going to keep this book. So anyway, let me get them all organized for you. So in this chunk I have 8, I think, if I know how to count. So the first 3 I'm going to put together, and that is the Shadow and Bone trilogy by Leigh Bardugo. These were on my series to read in 2025, and honestly, I just never feel the desire to read them. I think I bought the trilogy after watching season 1 of the show on Netflix, and I did really like the show. But honestly, I think I'm too old for these now. I'm gonna keep the other 2, like the Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom duology. I might still give that a chance. Everything I've heard, I feel like I'm not going to enjoy this. I do know, even though I have canceled Netflix, I think they've only done 2 seasons. And so I'm not even sure if I want to go watch season 2 and then just not ever have a season 3 or whatnot. But at the end of the day, I just needed to be honest with myself. I'm never going to read these. It's fine. It is what it is. And then the rest were part of tried chapter videos, which I've only done a couple since my last unhaul, because I've just not been reading a ton. So, you know. Anyways, so the first one is The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, and I just this wasn't doing it for me. So I've seen some people that I like that seem to like this, and I think it's like a trilogy or like a quartet or something, and that is just a lot of books for me to read. This, I feel like a lot of these, is something I probably would have liked at some point in my life, but not now. Next is These Hollow Vows by Lexi Ryan, which honestly, I don't even remember anything about, so... Oh yes, this is like the fairy one. I'm very apprehensive about fairy and fairy adjacent stories. I just feel as if I have been burned several times, so I just avoid them now. Next is one that originally I was going to keep, and then I was reading reviews, and then I changed my mind, and that is Only a Monster by Vanessa Len. Honestly, I'm going to tell you, I actually read reviews for the 3rd book, and that is what really tipped me over. Should I have done that? Probably not. But anyways, that's what I did. It's a trilogy. I'm not trying to get involved and then have that happen to me. One Dark Window by Rachel Gillig, which I had considered after reading the first chapter, and I said I was going to read some reviews. And I am a little worried because it's gothic-y, and that's very creepy to me, and I get nervous and scared. But also, I just read some reviews, and a lot of the things that people are pointing out are things that bother me. It sounds like our protagonist may be too stupid to live, basically. That's not what other people said, but that's what I'm reading in the reviews. Reading between the lines. And then the last one is Blood Scion by Deborah Fillet. I still don't know how to say that. This one I had considered keeping, and then I wanted to double check the reviews. This one is more of a skipping because for my own peace of mind, which feels kind of bad, but is what I'm going to do. I read one review that I thought was particularly helpful, in that she said this is kind of similar to The Gilded Ones, which I did read and enjoy, but even darker, and I feel like even that was a little dark for me. But this is definitely darker, and she was talking about how it's important because it's addressing the topic of child soldiers and everything like that, and I respect that choice, but also there is a line for me when it comes to fiction. I do read to escape, and obviously I do want to be exposed to things to make me think and make me question things and to make me aware of things going on in the world, but I don't know. I feel like that is a line for me. Also, I kind of get the vibe that this might be a little military heavy. Military I use as a loose term, but this is not what anybody said. It's just what I started to think in my head. Is it made me start to feel like it may go down an ember in the ashes kind of thing, and I did not like that. like that stuff. So I'm sure this is a great and important book, but I don't think it's for me, especially right now in the headspace I'm in, and I don't want to keep it on my shelf just in case I ever feel comfortable reading it. I would rather that it hopefully go to the home of somebody who can appreciate it more than me. So like, oh, hello, Franny Banani. Did you wake up from your nap? Do you want to come see me? I know, but we gotta practice getting help, huh? Yeah, maybe think about it. Okay, you don't have to, but you have to know that I'm a safe person. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna pet you. We're working on getting picked up and held just in case, like, you know, we have to, like, for the vet and everything. So, but she does not particularly like it. I don't want to, like, traumatize her, but anyways. Hello, it is Holly, and I'm here with another update on my unhaul. I was gonna wait until closer to the end of the year, but this stack is getting bigger, so I feel as if I need to, you know, film this. So, first I will do the ones, I was like reorganizing my library, so I do have a few that I took off my shelf, and then some book box books that were called during the Try Chapter videos. So the first one is An Arrow to the Moon by Emily X.R. Pan. Well, this is a beautiful looking book, especially this edge color. It's Romeo and Juliet retelling. I was vaguely interested when I read the first chapter. However, I since read reviews and I don't think this is going to be for me. So, you know. Next is Cruel Illusions by Margie Fuston. Just still don't know how to say it. It is beautiful, but I think this book is just not for me. I think it might be a little dark, but also the heroine was just kind of annoying, and I think there is a love triangle in here. I wasn't particularly interested after the first chapter, and then I did read some reviews that just kind of like validated my opinion. Next, I went back and forth on, but ended up deciding that I don't have a lot of library space. I decided that these covers were not pretty enough for me to justify keeping them. And so that is Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lynn Tam and Heart of the Sun Warrior by Sue Lynn Tam. This was a book box Try Chapter, and I actually picked it and then I DNF'd it because I wasn't enjoying it. And I did in fact read some reviews, and I think there are some things that happen in here that I'm sure I would not like either. And again, these are like these end pages are edges are beautiful, and these covers are beautiful, but they're not the most beautiful, you know? And so buying this impulsively, like, because this was, I believe this is a Fairy Loot book, and so because I got this in a box, they offered this one, like, early access to get this one, but it really does just make sense to unhaul these and not keep them. And then there were 3 books that I pulled off of my shelf. So the first one is The Queen of Nothing by Holly Black. I actually already own this edition. I own the black and the white editions of these. I bought this at like Goodwill, like forgetting I already owned the white edition or something. I don't know what I was thinking. So I've just been holding on to it for like no reason. But it's literally a duplicate, like a complete total duplicate. So I am just going to get rid of that. And then I have the Gilded Ones by Namina Forna. So I got this in a book box, and then I can't remember if I got the hardcover in a book box, like a separate one, because I got this like earlier, I think like before it released, but it's not an ARC. I thought it was, but it's not. But this is the one I had read. But or if I just bought the hard copy, I can't remember, but I do own like the hard copy of this. I've never continued with the series, and honestly at this point I don't know if I will or not. If you've read this series, let me know if I should continue on. If I do, I feel like I'll need to reread this, which is fine, but I enjoyed this, but I didn't love it, so I don't feel the need to have 2 copies, and like the covers are the same, just one's paperback and one's hardcover. So I figured I would just pass this one along. And then kind of similarly, I've held on to this one, I don't fully know why, is this like original, I guess, cover of Desperate Measures by Katie Robert. This is my first Katie Robert book and I did not like it. And then for some reason I continued and have really enjoyed most of her books since then. I have not since reread this. And I have primarily read all of her other books by audio. So I don't know if I would enjoy this more on audio, but I do own the alternate editions. I have the like hardcover, I believe they were a Kickstarter for her edition of all of these books. So I was like, I really don't need to keep this one, especially when it's not like this is like my favorite book, you know? So I'm going to pass this one along as well. So, hello. So I am here with my final part of this book Unhaul. I will tell you, I have one book that's upstairs and I'm not gonna go get it, and that is The Ivory Key. I cannot remember who the author is, but I'll put a picture of it up here that I am unhauling. That was from my Try a Chapter series thing, and so are these 3. So these are for my last one, so you will actually probably see this before the video, so that feels like poor planning on my part, but who cares? It's fine. So the first one is 7 Faceless Saints by M.K. Lobb. This one, I thought it was going to be a no when I first picked it up, but then when I read it and I read the synopsis, I was like, maybe. And then I read some reviews and I was like, we're going to pass. Yes, this is like a duology, I guess, which I support duologies. I mean, I support standalones. We should have more of those, but duologies are good too. Next is Silver in the Bone by Alexandra Bracken, which I believe is also a duology, and I had absolutely no interest in this, basically from the synopsis. But you know, it is what it is. I honestly have only read the Darkest Minds trilogy by her, and I believe I have tried another one of her books for my Try Chapter video thing, and I think I chose to not keep that either. So I don't know. I just feel like maybe Alexandra Bracken and I are not compatible, and that's fine. This Vicious Grace by Emily, I still don't know how to say it, Feed, I guess. And I believe this is also a duology. So yes, I just like, this one seemed moderately interesting from the synopsis, but I wasn't really gripped by the first chapter, and then I did read some reviews, and some of the stuff I read, it just made me not interested. Like, there was a lot of like, it's just basic, boring, like whatever. There's just too many books in the world, you know? So I don't even have a lot to say about any of these. But that is my final unhaul for the year. I feel like I've done good progress with all of this. Like, it's sad that I had all of these books just sitting on my shelves and that I bought them, that they moved with me and everything, but I'm glad that I am putting in the effort now to get them off of my shelf. And next year, pretty early on, I should be done with all of my Try a Chapter for book boxes. So at least all of those will have been culled through, which I think is very good. But that is my final unhaul. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.